not long after the Star Wars fanbase was shocked back to life by the Mandalorian's Luke Skywalker reveal. January 5th saw the official launch of Star Wars: The High Republic, the new publishing initiative set about 200 years before anything Skywalker. Just after that, on January 7th, we learned that the writer of Marvel's upcoming Doctor Strange movie and Loki series would also write the Star Wars movie that is to be produced by Kevin Feige himself. Being launched so soon after Luke Skywalker's triumphant return would have been bad enough for the High Republic, but being sandwiched between that and these movie news really plucked the wind right out of its sails. Because now, nobody cares.
Nobody cares! Nobody cares.
So why would they reveal something new and more exciting for the big screen that they must have known would steal all the thunder from the High Republic right after its launch? Let's see if we can't find out. In this editorial, I will begin by going through what exactly the publishing initiative the High Republic is, before going through the implications of the timing of the movie reveal and what that suggests about what may be happening behind closed doors at Lucasfilm. Throughout this video, there is one thing to keep in mind. Lucasfilm is a company divided. After everything started spiraling downwards in the aftermath of The Last Jedi, Bob Iger stepped in and took over a degree of control from Kathleen Kennedy. Persistent rumors coming from industry sources suggest that Iger then effectively gave this control to Jon Favreau, who has autonomy on The Mandalorian and the MCU-style revival of Star Wars it will herald. Favreau reports directly to Bobs, Iger and Chapek, while Kathleen Kennedy has been sidelined to rule over her pet projects, like the High Republic and the Acolyte. Lucasfilm has thus become a company divided between the Kennedy faction, consisting of Kennedy herself and the ideologues she hired, and the Favreau faction, consisting of the true Star Wars fans that were always in Lucasfilm, plus the Marvel guys Favreau brought in. With that crucial reminder out of the way, let's dive into the High Republic. The High Republic is a new publishing initiative from Kathleen Kennedy and the Lucasfilm Story Group, which spans comics, books, and that's it really. It is set in the High Republic era, about 200 years prior to the onset of the Skywalker saga. And they've worked a really long time on creating this interconnected story featuring these new, dumpy, ultra-woke characters with anagram names and everything that we're supposed to be excited about. Bleeding Cool tried to sell 200,000 predatory practice inflated orders, not sales to customers, but orders, for the first Marvel issue of the initiative as some kind of big win. But I'm old enough to remember when Marvel's first modern Star Wars issue saw 1 million orders. If anything, the High Republic is a dud, because
nobody cares,
and they know it. On January 6th, after the High Republic launch, but before the movie news item, famed Disney insider WDW Pro published another scoop over at Pirates and Princesses. It reads, Star Wars: The High Republic is launching and the response has been underwhelming for Lucasfilm. Now the blame game has begun as the mega story limps out the gate. The prime target is blaming Jon Favreau for the perception that he has enabled what individuals in Lucasfilm view as toxic demographics. More specifically, Luke Skywalker emboldened one part of a divided audience. Sources say that the Lucasfilm Story Group, that has been heavily involved in the development of the High Republic, is frustrated for several reasons. First, the reveal of Luke Skywalker in the finale of The Mandalorian second season took all the oxygen out of High Republic. Who cares about the High Republic if they're all wondering what happens with Luke Skywalker and his new Padawan, Grogu? Worse yet, the story group members are furious because they weren't informed about Luke Skywalker being the season send-off surprise. The people working on High Republic had no idea that Favreau and Filoni would be driving the fanbase into hyperdrive just before they launched a new sub-property that is significantly different. This sort of explains why they struck out at the fanbase reaction publicly. To really twist the dagger, individuals at Lucasfilm are angry because not only did the Pablo Hidalgo situation blow up in their faces, but then celebrities began thanking Jon Favreau, Dave Filoni, and Mark Hamill. To these individuals, this is a betrayal of Kathleen Kennedy, who originally put Favreau with Filoni for The Mandalorian. Nobody is thanking Kathleen Kennedy for The Mandalorian or for Luke, and nobody is thanking the story group for anything. What all this has done is make a previously whispered about schism turn into a full-blown public display of two divisions at Lucasfilm. Nobody in their right mind can look at the High Republic and The Mandalorian and conclude that those are two sub-properties following the same mission statement under a unified Lucasfilm. And because fans are now picking sides, High Republic seems to be kneecapped by the popularity of The Mandalorian, as well as the fear that High Republic signals a return to sequel trilogy-style Star Wars. The result is that meetings and discussions are forthcoming about how to manage the public relations situation. People behind High Republic want Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni to speak in a complementary fashion in regards to Lucasfilm, Kathleen Kennedy, and the High Republic. They feel that in the absence of those kind words, toxic parts of the fandom are filling the gap. So, according to WDW Pro's scoop from January 6th, the Kennedy faction wanted Favreau and Filoni to publicly praise and speak highly of Kathleen Kennedy and the High Republic. I think the Favreau faction responded to that on January 7th, by reminding everyone that not only is Kevin Feige's Star Wars movie still happening, it has another Marvel writer attached. On January 7th, Deadline Hollywood exclusively revealed that Michael Waldron, writer of Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness, and writer and producer of the Loki series for Disney+, will also write the Star Wars movie that Kevin Feige will produce. Allow me to interject that in light of the rumors that there is an intention to consign the sequel trilogy to some alternate timeline through the Veil of the Force, I find it interesting that they've gone with a writer who obviously must know how to handle multiverse shenanigans. Although that could be a coincidence, so we'll revisit that should it become relevant. It should be noted that this is not an official announcement, but a leak that someone very high up, and Deadline Hollywood knows exactly who, wanted to put out there. That this was released when it was, just after the launch of the High Republic, was deliberate. This is just my speculating here, but my reading of this reveal and its timing is that the Favreau faction is trying to communicate to the audience. Pay no attention to this High Republic drivel. The real future of Star Wars is on Disney Plus and on the big screen, and us Marvel guys are firmly in charge of that. Let's resume WDW Pro's scoop from January 6th. Internal financial projections for High Republic have reportedly tanked since the online trailer was released. Initial reception of Light of the Jedi has been tepid at best. The question now for Disney is which of these two paths forward have the greatest potential. The High Republic already seems limp. The Favreau-Filoni Star Wars universe has tremendous excitement and skyrocketing budgets, at a time Disney doesn't have budgets for almost anything else. High Republic doesn't sell Disney+. Luke Skywalker, Baby Yoda, The Mandalorian, Ahsoka, Boba Fett, they sell Disney+. And despite justified misgivings about Bob Iger, sources say that he's fully behind Jon Favreau. In all likelihood, that means the Kathleen Kennedy camp for Star Wars direction is going to be more bitter as time goes on. WDW Pro guesses that the High Republic will crawl along, pulling a Star Wars resistance. PR and marketing will likely convince Favreau and Filoni to put in a good word in some interview. On that note, I would like to interject that the January 7th Deadline Hollywood scoop about the movie contained the following passage. The project was first rumored following the success of Avengers Endgame, and before the launch of Star Wars Rise of Skywalker, the final installment in the most recent trilogy of the franchise. Lucasfilm president Kathleen Kennedy was looking to start a new era of Star Wars films. And given how much love Feige had for the franchise, and how masterfully he navigated the Marvel Cinematic Universe over the past decade, felt the perfect fit to spearhead a new feature on the beloved IP. Note that here, Kevin Feige and Marvel are praised, while Kathleen Kennedy is given credit for knowing who to call after she tanked the Rise of Skywalker and sequel trilogy at large. As far as compliments go, it's an underhanded one, but kind of a compliment nonetheless, so I guess they did speak of Kennedy in a complimentary fashion. As for that compliment, it's pure spin, which is PR speak for a bold-faced lie. Kevin Feige is Kathleen Kennedy's division rival, and if she ever felt that he was right for Star Wars, then that feeling was ordered into existence by Bob Iger. I mean, you don't see Kevin Feige calling for the head of Pixar, or even calling for Kathleen Kennedy for that matter, to help him spearhead a Marvel movie. He's got that sorted out on his own, as he's supposed to. It's his division. With that, let's finish up WDW Pro's scoop. Keeping Luke Skywalker a secret from almost everyone at Lucasfilm has sent a message loud and clear. Favreau is in charge of The Mandalorian and every spin-off series and film that comes from it. And Favreau is in charge of the only Star Wars that fans seem to care about. There are no consultations with Lucasfilm needed in the future. He and Filoni are in the driver's seat. I do believe WDW Pro's scoops are on the money. I think the whole Deadline Hollywood leak was all about Favreau and his team sending a message, both internally in Lucasfilm and to the fans, aka the consumers who are the most eager to spend money on their products. The Kennedy faction can have their little pet projects, but for the things that matter, the Marvel guys are firmly in charge. Let me know if you are more excited for the High Republic or the Mandalorian and everything to follow in its wake in the comments.